Hello. My name is Gina Kruger, and I'm the Director of Real Living, and I want to welcome you to this segment of 20-Minute Tenets. Today, we're talking about budgeting to be your best. I'm going to go ahead and start my timer here so that I don't keep you longer than 20 minutes because I could talk about this topic all day. So, thanks for joining me today. We are here to talk quickly about budgeting to be your best. I want you to know that this is typically a 2-hour presentation, so we shorten it up a little bit to give you a tidbit of what's going on within 20 minutes. And if you'd like to see more, feel free to give us a call. So we're talking about how to be your best. And this is how to be your best when your life is balanced, especially when it's stressful like it is today. When you're calm and centered, that's when you can be your best. And in today's economic climate, it's very difficult to be calm, centered, and balanced, especially with finances when you don't know what's coming next. So, personal budgeting and financial planning is simply the process of, like it says on the board, managing your money and achieving economic satisfaction. Isn't that what we all want? I'm going to shift this just a little bit because my screen is going bonkers here. Okay. So, like it says on the screen, personal budgeting can enhance the quality of your life and reduce stress in your life by putting you in control of your money. And so, this financial thing that we talk about, some people even say parents have more difficult time talking to their kids about budgeting than they do about other things, drinking, sex, drugs, that kind of stuff. Financial planning or budgeting is really difficult for people. And so we want to talk about it and normalize it so that everybody knows what they're getting themselves into and can find this balance and calm with your finances. I wonder how many of you right now have a little piece of paper or something to jot on, could just jot down on a scale of 1 to 10. How worried are you about your finances? A 1 would be not worried at all. A 10 would be, I have a lot of work to do in this area and I'd like to figure it out. Go ahead and jot down your number because hopefully, as we go through some of these next slides, you'll be able to see what we're talking about. All right. So, when we're talking about budgeting, I want you to know this isn't something that you're born with. It's not a activity or a thing that, like I said, has been well talked about. And so this is a lifelong learning thing. It's a lifelong activity. Like it says on the screen, your financial goals and plan should change to meet the needs of your current situation and your future needs. So it's going to change a lot as we move forward. You'll gain a sense of freedom and financial worries by figuring out a plan. And so let's start talking about it. First of all, in order to budget, you need to determine your current financial situation. Then you need to develop your financial goals, identify alternative courses of action, or like we say in Real Living, do something different, and then evaluate alternatives and create a financial plan so that you have something to go by. Every year, you should take a look at that plan and revise it or renew it because your financial goals of today are probably much different than they were 10 or 20 years ago. And so we always want to keep that into consideration. So, how do we determine our financial situation? You start with a budget, determine your income. You figure out your types of income, your net wages, your Social Security, your self employment, interest income, and investment income. This is what your budget is. Any sort of money that you're getting in based on what you do. What types of income? What are your net wages after taxes and other withholdings? Do you get any Social Security money? Are you self employed? Do you get money as profits? What kind of interest income do you get from your savings account, maybe, or other things? And investment income. Again, you can check out more detail about what those things are on the internet, which I'll talk about in a minute. Then you have to define your living expenses. I wanted to show you this expense tracking sheet. So I'm going to, actually, I'll show it to you all at the end. So the expense tracking sheet is something where you determine your expenses. What do you have to pay for? Expenses are something that you write out a check for or get direct deposit, so something comes out of your checking account. What are your expenses? A lot of times people use an Excel spreadsheet, Quicken, Mint.com, or other online resources to kind of determine what your expenses are. But as I said, at the end of this, I'll send you a little packet that has all of those resources in it. And an expense tracking sheet is really important. And it's nothing that we want you to be untruthful about. If you spend $6 a day on a cup of coffee, it's something we want you to write down because, as I'll talk about in a minute, your feelings about money and the things that you do with your money are purposeful. And so if you want to spend $6 a day on a cup of coffee and that's what makes you feel calm and balanced, then we're going to work that into your budget. You don't have to make big changes because it seems like it's extravagant. Those things are personal feelings of maybe doing some self-care, and we want to fit that into the budget. So first we determine needs versus wants. Everybody knows what needs versus wants are. We learn this as kids, but as an adult, we all have wants and needs, and it can be different. And so, like I was saying earlier, it's okay to have some wants in your budget. Needs are things that we must have to survive, and wants are desired goods and services we would like to have, but we don't need. So, when we make a list of our expenses, we can determine which are wants and which are needs, and is there some maybe that we could cut back on. So when we're building our personal budget, we always want to put the needs first. Our needs that we can't live without, things like our house payment or rent, our utility bills, our taxes, our car payment, the phone payment, those kind of things, the things that we have to survive. Those are what we put first on the spreadsheet. After that, then we put the wants. And remember, I'm going to go ahead and give you a spreadsheet so you'll know what I'm talking about. Once your needs are covered in the budget, then review your wants and make choices about which ones are most important to you. You don't have to get rid of all your wants in order to have a good budget. Your wants are as important as your needs, believe it or not. You have to determine which ones you can't live without and which ones you can, if you have to make a choice about that for a budget. As you look for ways to improve your financial strength, then we're going to review the amount that you're spending on your wants. And we're going to determine your assets. Again, I'm going to give you a personal balance sheet so you can figure this out. An asset is a property that you own, anything that you own. So it could be a house, a vehicle, a boat, savings account, retirement plan, coin collection, bicycle, what are those little moped things? Anything like that. You're going to create a list of your assets, things that you own that somebody else would want. Then we're going to determine your debt. Debt is the money you owe. Things like a mortgage, a car loan, credit card debt, student loans. Those are all kinds of things that are debts. Oops, went the wrong way there. Once we have all of that done, we're going to figure out our financial goals. So we're going to explore and think about, what is it you want to do? What are your worries? When you look at that score you gave yourself from 1 to 10, what are your worries about finances? Is it something that you really want to figure out? Or is it something you're not too concerned about? No matter where you are on that scale, it's really important to develop some financial goals because finances are part of that wellness wheel, as I said. Being financially healthy is just as important as being physically healthy or spiritually healthy or socially healthy, all those different things on the wellness wheel. So, how do you feel about money? And why do you feel that way? And I want to take just a minute for you to write that down. How do you feel about money? Once you're done writing down how you feel about money, then I want you to write down why do you feel that way? And that's what takes a little more time. Are your feelings about money based on factual knowledge, or are your feelings about money based on the influence of other people? So, what I mean by that is, why do you feel the way you feel about money? Did somebody tell you to feel that way? Or do you feel that way because it's actually a true feeling? Are you impacted by social pressures, household needs, or desires? Because sometimes that makes you feel a certain way about money too. I mean, there's nothing better than a good, you know, financial spend after an argument. Shopping, what do they call it? Shopping therapy. So when we're developing our financial goals, we have to remember that you have to decide what your goals are in order to pursue them. Your financial goals really have to range from spending all of your current income to developing an extensive savings and investment program for your future and financial security. When you get to be my age, 50 something, it's really time where you start thinking about, what is my financial future? Do I have anything in the bank? What am I going to do if I think about retiring? Um, your financial goals are important to think about regardless of your age, whether you're 18 just starting in the financial world, or you're 64 getting ready to retire. It's super important to develop your financial goals. You have the opportunity to learn about money management, and to take control of your stuff. That's why it's important. We talk about SMART goals all the time in all different areas of wellness, but SMART goals are things that you can determine about your financial goals. And SMART, is an acronym for how we prepare goals. Smart, measurable, achievable, and those sorts of things. We'll talk about it as we go. So an example would be, I want to pay off all my credit card debt by December of 2029. Another one, I want to save $500,000 for retirement by the time I'm 65. Those are really good goals. I want to have $50,000 for my child's education. I want to save $25,000 by 2030 for the replacement of my vehicle. Once you identify those goals, then it's time to change your current situation if you want to or if you have to. We always say in Real Living, do something different. If you don't like the way things are currently with your finances, if you don't think that those goals are attainable, then it's time to change it. Change the current situation. Maybe you decide to use a money market account. Maybe you start a regular savings account or a money market account. Maybe you take a new course of action, like deciding to use your monthly savings budget to pay off your credit card debts instead. Maybe you consider other possible alternatives to make really effective and satisfying decisions. That's what we ask you to do. Identify alternatives or do something different if you don't like the way things are going. Research shows that people with a financial plan or a financial action plan have significantly higher amounts of savings than those who don't have a plan. So, resources, you can choose FL.com, personal finance software. You can go to the Excel spreadsheets, Quicken. I mean, there's so many things out there on the internet. Mint.com. You can also go to your Real Living website where we have tons of information about a financial plan. All of these tools serve you and help you decide how you want to spend your money. If you have a good spending plan, it gives you control over your money and helps you feel more in charge, what ultimately boosts your morale and boosts your overall wealth or health and wealth. You know that you can go to realliving.com, type in your username and password, and there's a humongous financial library of things to help you create a budget, to help you create an expense plan, to help you create a financial action plan. All these different things that you can use, because one of our affiliate providers is called CLC, and they are our financial advisors. You can get a money coach through them. You can have an authorization for financial consulting. Through your EAP, you have all kinds of benefits to help you get financially well. And we want you to use that. So don't hesitate. If you have any questions, please give us a call and we can help you through that. Debt is something that you ask yourself, if you can meet all of your needs and still afford the monthly loan payments. Experts suggest that you spend no more than 20% of your net after tax money income on debt payments. So you think about when you put all of your debt together, that should only take up no more than 20% of your income. To try to figure that out, again, I have a debt payment worksheet. There's also all kinds of stuff on the internet and on the website, on the Real Living website. These are a few that I have listed on the screen. Maintaining financial records. Again, this is another way for you, to be able to monitor what you're spending. We want you to create a system, a really good system, as a way to organize your personal finances. This is going to help you handle business affairs, making sure you're paying your bills on time, to plan and measure your progress and your goals, to complete the required tax reports. It is so nice to just go into this Excel spreadsheet and have all the answers to your tax questions so you can do your taxes quickly and nicely. And to make effective investment decisions, to determine available resources so you can buy something if you need to. In summary, I just want to say, remember the fundamentals of budgeting. We said revisit them often so you constantly are aware of what's going on with your finances, just like you do with your other relationships. Determine your current financial situation, develop your goals, do something different if you don't like the way things are going, and then review and revise your financial plan. Thank you again very much for joining me today. It was an absolute pleasure sharing these 20 minutes with you over lunch hour. I hope you enjoyed what you learned, and if not, come to the next one. Maybe it'll be more enjoyable. It would be great if you could fill out the survey that you get after attending this class. And I just want to thank you and have a great rest of your day. Take good care and be your best.